person handling their microphone.
Mine's on mute.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Xbox Life episode 325, Xbox Down. We're going to try this again, and I hope that my voice is not super distorted and bad like it was a moment ago. And I'm getting a thumbs up that I sound better. You got to love these updates. When they change your settings on you, you freaking exploit. That was not my fault. It was not Rob's fault. It was not Brun's fault. It was Exploit's fault. Stupid update. All right. Anyways, where were we? I missed that, and that messed up a great intro too, because I thought my intro was really good the first time. Anyways, welcome to episode 325. Xbox Down. Xbox Down. Nurse Medic. I'm with you. I'm one of your hosts, Mark, a.k.a. Wingman709, and with me, as always, is both Rob and Brun, and I'm going to let them duke it out. To who introduces themselves first.
The winner is the first one. That's me. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Rob, also known as Prestar. Hello, hello, hello. Brun, take it away.
And I'm Brun, BJ Sook 33. And my daughter's behind me. Oh, she's running by me.
Well, it's better than seeing a cat on a toilet.
Yes.
I know we're going for numbers here, but crazy stunts like that just won't happen, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So welcome to the show. As always, you can visit us at thisxboxlife.com to get a listing of all of our shows and topics. And of course, as always, you guys are doing an amazing job of supporting us by shopping at Amazon.com and using our affiliate link. And if you're in the U.S., that's thisxboxlife.com/Amazon, or go to our website, click the Amazon link for if you live anywhere else in the world. Or if you live in the U.S., you can do the same. Click it, and it'll auto-redirect you to the Amazon affiliate link closest to you. Alrighty, so let's just jump into what we've been trying to play. This might be the, what have we tried to play this week? Or what non-console gaming have we played this week? That might be a more appropriate term.
Clash of Clans.
Nice.
Board games.
Solitaire, man.
We've been playing Christmas.
Oh, you know what? You can't even play Solitaire on the Windows 8 PCs anymore.
Why not?
Because they're all connected to Xbox Live.
Oh, no.
So I mean, like card play. I had to whip out the cards and actually play real Solitaire. It was that bad.
Holy smokes. That's like exercise, though, isn't it? Dealing with cards.
I only played one round.
That's why, because it was real cards. The shuffling stuff is for the birds.
Yeah. So, did you guys get any gaming in this week?
Well, for me, I've just been so busy with work and with Christmas and all. I've had very little time. There's that outage that happened. It really didn't affect me too much, and I would just check in on the Facebook group just to kind of see what people were saying. Is it back up? Is it down? What's going on? But
it didn't affect you because you didn't try to get on.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Pretty much. And I did finally get some game time in yesterday, and I was able to get on. And I had a little bit of a scare today because I turned my Xbox One on after a couple of days of being turned off, and it was having some trouble displaying stuff on the screen. But a reboot took care of that, so I was like, "Whoa, is it down again? What's going on?" But yeah, that's messed up. What happened? Jerks.
And it's still happening.
Yeah,
that's the frustrating part. So
but it's not like consistent, right?
It's not.
It's only affecting certain people at certain times, I think. Right?
Yeah, it's been very random depending on the platform that you're on.
Yeah.
But we'll jump into all of that here in our roundtable. So
yeah,
we'll save our rage.
That's right. Yeah, but otherwise for me, I have actually been playing some Clash of Clans. Some coworkers are really sucked into it, so they peer pressured me into trying. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And yes, I did some of that.
will play, Rob.
Because it's funny actually. 'Cause I was talking with one of the guys, and I'm like, "Because I won't pay. I will not pay money for these games to buy their power ups and everything, and I'll wait. I don't care. I don't care if something takes 4 days. You know, I'll just let it sit there and go." But I was talking to one of the guys. I'm like, "This game is stupid. It makes you wait for everything. Why? Why do you play this?" But they're all sucked into it, and there's big like clan wars going on, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. What the heck? But on the Xbox front, I did play some more Kalimba. That's that follow-up game by the guys that made Max Curse of the Brotherhood. That's Press Play. This is their second game that they've released for the Xbox One. I talked about it a little bit last week. It's pretty fun. It is very challenging to try to get like 100% on every level, and I find myself replaying levels over and over and over and over and over, trying to get 100%, and it's sort of frustrating me a little bit because I'll be like, because you need 70 points, let's say, to have 100% on a level and not die, because every time you die it subtracts 1 from whatever score you gathered. So in order to get 100%, you have to collect all 70 of these little point things and not die. And so I keep restarting every time I miss something, or every time that one of my characters die, and you kind of get restarted. And I was actually thinking about this, earlier today. I wonder if that like completionist mentality can actually ruin games, and if it continues, like I'll just get sick of the game. Why don't I just forget about that and just continue and finish the game? You know,
Yep.
not necessarily perfectly, and then maybe go back and try to get it. So I think I might try to just blast through the game and then come back and try to 100% everything, because that's kind of like what you do, isn't it, Mark? Because I know that you kind of go through stuff a second time or whatever.
I like to play a game the first time just to play it, not going after achievements or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now, if I know something's an achievement and I'm like, ooh, I was really close to getting that, I might redo it right there. But I'm not going
Yeah.
to sit and redo. I'd rather just play the game, enjoy the game, and have fun, enjoy it for what it is. And then if you really enjoyed it and you want to play some more, then I'll go back and I should say, if I enjoyed it and I want to play some more, then I go
Yeah.
back and do some achievement, hunting, if you will. Trying to, I said I'm not really into all the achievements. I like to get stuff if it makes the
Right.
game more fun. But like I love Sunset Overdrive, but they've got a bunch of time challenges and stuff that type of timed stuff infuriates me because I'm just no good at that stuff. So I haven't even
Yeah.
really touched or gone after these challenges. And it's just like I don't want to because it's going to ruin that game for me.
Yeah, it'll make you, because what are you at, like 80 hours now or something?
I don't know.
Again.
It's something insane, but
Yeah, let's say it's 80 hours. It'll take you like 80
I
hours.
was at
more to
80
get
hours,
that.
and then the DLC came out, so I'm like at 80 and a half now. I'll explain later.
Okay, righto.
So
But anyway, so I think I'm gonna kind of rethink things with that and just play through the game instead of destroying the game for myself, or at least my enjoyment. And then the other game that I've been playing is I got my son Skylander Trap Team.
busted.
Yeah. And I was pleasantly surprised by this game, because I was, for the longest time, I was really thinking about doing Disney Infinity 2.0, because my son just loves it. And then one of the community members sent me some messages on Xbox Live when right after we were talking about Infinity a couple, I don't know, months back, right after it came out, and he recommended Trap Team, saying that it was a lot better. And I can hands down say that it is a heck of a lot better than at least the first Disney Infinity was. And it's funny. The visuals are awesome. I mean, It's got that little trap bass, and it's got a little speaker where the characters, once you trap them in whatever the trap is, they sit there and they talk. Like there's this, what the heck was it? This guy Gulper, I think was his name. So you capture him and he goes in there and he's like, "Gulper, be good now," and it's just comical. It's just funny. The voices are awesome. The character names are pretty funny. Like there's a guy called Broccoli Guy. He's a bad guy. You capture him and Gulper and the sheep that has like these rockets on him. It's just silly. It's fun. It's seemingly well done right now. I'm just so pleasantly surprised. My son and I are having a great time with it for the most part. I could elaborate on that. Yeah, playing with a 6.5-year-old is, yeah. He's so mean to me sometimes. But anyway, so Skylanders Trap Team, Kalimba, Clash of Clans, and I think that's pretty much about it. Oh, and I discovered this thing. Have you guys ever heard of idle games?
Nope.
Or Brun, have you? Because it's no. It's not.
No.
It's these stupid little games. Like, check these things out on Google. There's actually websites that have these things. It's these stupid little games. They play out of a browser, and they're meant to be played basically when really like nothing's going on. You just have a couple of seconds to do something, like, while you're at work, maybe. But you have, like, let's say this browser open, and it'll have just various things going on, and it'll have you like click in different spots. Like, you might let's say like there's an archaeological dig or something. I'm just throwing this out. It'll have you like, click to dig. And so you have to click a couple of times to dig, and then it'll say, "Hey, you found something." Then you click in another spot to open like what you found. And it kind of builds on itself. So the longer you play, like the more stuff that you can do. And I can't really describe the compulsion to play this thing, because it's not really fun, but it's like you're making progress. And that's like the hook. It does not require a lot of attention. It does not require a lot of time. But just like, if you have just like a spare like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, something, you can just kind of look at it and go click, 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 click a couple times. You get that like little, hey, I actually achieved something, like an achievement. Kind of, I guess, the same thing. And then you can put it back and come back to it later. So it's just something interesting. There's, I guess, tons of these things. Just check them out. Idle games. Just do a search for them. And there's websites that have a ton of them. Some, I'm sure, are better than others. But it's just a goofy new form of gaming that I've discovered. And yeah. So that's about it for me, guys. How about you, Brun?
Well, I was going to say, welcome to this Xbox Live episode 325, Rob's Intervention. With all the little... What do you do all day? Well, I'm clicking, and I'm clicking. I'm clicking.
Click master. Click master.
Cookie clicker. Cookie clicker. I got 3 million cookies. Well, let's see. What have I played? So, of course, I played Diablo 3. I have a decked out Demon Hunter who can now... I'm rolling T6, Torment 6 by myself, and just kicking butt. So I'm ready for the highest level with friends whenever they're ready to play. And
What Paragon are you?
80... 90? 89? 90?
I'm 99 with my Demon Hunter. I hit it today.
Yeah. So we gotta help you get up in the higher Torment so we can get the rest of your gear.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah. Right.
All right. Well, thanks for
Xbox
joining.
Live allows us.
Yeah, no kidding. I was on earlier today and it was working, but
yeah.
So.
Well, I was playing that. I played a little bit of Elite Dangerous, and that's that was PC. I wanted to play some Battlefield 4 this weekend because they had double XP and stuff, but of course, Battle Log was down for an entire almost 48 hours because they were getting hit. So I went and I saw Mark. I saw your message on Facebook about no excuses. Sunset Overdrive is 50% off.
Uh-oh.
So I went and got Sunset Overdrive. So, I find myself chuckling during during the game because they do say some funny stuff and some of the characters are funny. At first, oh man, I was having some trouble really getting into it, and at first I was just like, I can't do it. I just can't. I'm tired of fetch quest after fetch quest after fetch quest. It's like I'm done. I can't take it anymore. But I knew, and I remembered actually somebody else said it in Facebook today, was like it has like a slow burn, like a slow start, but then kind of picks up and gets good. So I played a little bit more and then started getting into other things and kind of opening up the areas. And actually, I think I'm in a whole different section of the whole city now, which is kind of nice, and getting into that. So I will say it's getting better. I was having more fun until I opened up the second base, I guess if you want to call it, your home base, and you have to do your little defend scenario where you set up your traps and you try to defend your vats, and you have 2 vats to defend.
Yep.
After my third time failing it, I was like, all right, I'm done. And this is why I don't finish video games. And I was just like, I didn't even play it at all today. So
I love those missions. I wish you could do just that with your friends. I wish they put in, the Chaos Squad makes you do a whole bunch of stuff before you get to one of those defense. It's like, just give me the VAT defense and let me and my buddies just hold on and see how long we can. Yeah. I love doing that.
I mean, I tried different traps in different areas, and I'm always constantly shooting and I'm trying to take down the big guys, but every time it's like never fails. They just blow right through my stuff. And I was like, well, it's like, do I not have the right guns? Am I doing something wrong? I was like, what do I need to do? So the last thing I did before I stopped playing is I went and purchased a couple extra guns. I got like the acid sprinkler.
Yes.
Those or whatever that, which I looked at what, actually I went through and I looked at what each of the gun does, and seeing that one looks like you can you shoot something out and it like sits there and sprinkles for you and takes out like an area damage.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, maybe that'll help me. So I haven't went back and tried it yet, but with that and the teddy bear gun, I'm just like, I should be able to just wipe these people out. And I get to the second wave. Like, how many waves are there? 2?
I think
There's
it's
2 waves.
more than that. I think it's 3 or 4 waves.
It's 4 minutes, but with a minute and a half left, both times around a minute and a half, it's just too much to consume. And I got this one of the bigger guys just knocking me all over the place. One time I died like 3 times during the whole thing, and I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? It's like, I can't do these 3 things and these 5 things and keep these 2 things going. So it's just like, all right.
And
I said
I can do that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just like, you know what? I'll try it one more time tonight. I failed that one. And I was like, I will give it 3 more times, and if I don't get it, I'll never play the game again.
No.
I'll be done with it. But there's no sense there. I won't waste my time. It's when a person gets to play 3-4 hours a week, I'm not going to waste my time playing an unbeatable mission. Basically, at that point,
it's beatable. I can play that,
0 hope.
And no guys will even get through the first barricade.
I'd love to know how you do it.
It just takes time getting to know the weapons, leveling your weapons up. I had problems the first time too. I mean, I'm saying that now when all my stuff is leveled up and I can go back and play that thing and nobody gets through. But look at your traps. One of the traps that I like to use is the springboard trap. And what I did early on was I would set a bunch of those out, but you set it up in a succession, and you got to look at the way the springboard's going to go, so that when they stepped on it, if they came in on one side, it would fling them like inward to the next one, to the next one, or the next. So it would just kind of keep flipping them around. So it's like a ring. So they go doing, 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 and then it would flip them out. That way, if they came in on the one side, they're going to get flipped all the way around and out. If they came in this way, they're going to get flipped out. So that's one of the things that I did was put a bunch of those down and just it allows you to shows you where you're setting them and where they're going to go, and just set them so they land on the next trap. That might help you out. Make sure if you've got your decoy, put your decoy guys out. It's not called a decoy. It's called what is it? I always called it the decoy gun, but that's not what it's called. But it shoots this person out. It looks like a duck. It's the duck is the one you'd select, but I think
I don't
it's
even
the duck.
have that.
Okay, but if you get that, you can throw that out, and the OD will go to that thing, and he'll actually kill him. It's just like a virtual image of a dude. Use the green cans to spew the stuff, but wait till guys get there because those don't last forever. But as you know, when you see hordes of guys, you need to be up on the string above and plant those cans down there, and it will. If you get the remote helicopters, throw a few of those out, and they have little machine guns or little guns on them, and they shoot the guys for you. So you're going to want to use those remote weapons as well. And then just, do your best to try to defend those things. If they get through, then you just move in and try to defend on the second spot. But set your traps. Make sure you set your traps out there. And keep at it. As you level your stuff up, your guns and weapons get better. Your abilities get better. And, it just, you got to get your guy a little bit better. But it'll come. Stick with it, man.
The one thing is like that's the mission. I have to beat that to move forward.
Yeah,
so it's just like, and it's just like, I don't know if I'm not powerful enough, or that's what I said. I finally just went and bought guns because I wasn't buying any. I had like 27,000 credits or dollars or whatever you want, 27,000 to spend. So I bought 2 or 3 guns. I brought the one that freezes and the acid sprinkler one, and so I'm gonna try those. Hopefully they help me. It's like I have to knock it down to an hour and a half or a minute and a half longer. But then again, I was just like I wasn't setting my traps at the outer layer. I was setting my traps in the inner layer.
Set them on the out. That way there's something there. Even if you're putting like a little gun or whatever, put something out on the outside of that thing that will take, it'll help fight off that first wave.
Yeah.
Put something there, and then use those springboards on the inside to spring them around and back on out the other side. Try that. See if that works for you. Yeah. If the campaign was co-op, man, I'd be in there and we'd beat it in one round and I'd let you move on.
I'll tell you what, that is the one thing. You want to take Sunset Overdrive from the game it is now, which like I said, it's grown on me. I'm having fun, and I have a little joke later on in the show. But if you would allow co-op in that game, you would basically have the mix between a Borderlands and a Crackdown, or you'd have like another Crackdown on your hands. It's almost like this is like how the first Crackdown wasn't co-op, but then the other ones were like this. No, Sunset
the first
Overdrive.
Crackdown was.
Oh, it was? Okay,
yes, it was.
Yeah, okay. That's what they're. In my mind, that's what they're missing. Like that is the thing they're missing.
Yes, the only thing I think Sunset missing is co-op in the story mode. They need to at least let you have one more. I would love to get in with a bunch of people, maybe. But even if they had one other 2, 3, or 4 people co-op on the story, would be awesome. And the other thing they're missing is they need modes of multiplayer where you can select just doing the defend the VAT missions, and maybe some other types of campaigns or other type of multiplayer stuff to do. That to me, that's like the only thing that game is missing. It is so much fun, but story co-op would definitely be helpful for people. So,
which playing this game does make me think about Crackdown 3 and how much fun. I cannot wait for that game.
I can't wait to see something more than just a trailer. I want to see gameplay. I want to see what. I can't wait for Crackdown, dude. Oh, all right. So, anyways,
I know I'll be able to beat it. It just I had to stop. I had to take a break because it was getting to that frustration point. It wasn't fun, So it's like I gotta take a break.
Yeah.
But that's really how I played. Sunset you can play, even if the stuff was down, I think. So, actually, it was up when I was playing anyways. So, but that's about it. So,
All right. Well, I played Sunset Overdrive as well because the DLC came out. And man, I was so excited. I was waiting for this, and I was pretty ticked off about an hour later when it was all done. This was the shortest DLC. Well, not the shortest DLC I've ever played. The shortest I've ever played was Sniper Elite 3, the part 1 of the Churchill DLC. It was all of about 5 minutes long. That really ticked me off for $7. But this was very short, way too short, and I was really disappointed because Major Nelson got on and they were talking about how big this DLC was. Now the area you go into is really cool. I like the new area you get to go to. I could care less about the new abilities. I think it's stupid, but it's going to come in handy to get some of the new collectibles that they've added. But it was over. It was like over in like an hour. The story part was. There was like, I think 3 or 4 main missions, and maybe it was a bit more than an hour. It might have been an hour and a half, but it wasn't very long. So I was pretty disappointed by that. I really was hoping for several hours of gameplay, as much as I love this game. But you get some new weapons, new clothes. There's new collectibles, a new area to go to, new missions, new monsters to fight, and it was fun for what it was. It was, I don't know if I've taken a step away from it and it just seemed overwhelming, but you want to talk about overwhelming. This was so insanely hard, though. There were so many times that I died because you're trying to fight like the main guy and there's just hordes of just unbelievable amounts of people coming after you and killing you. It's like I can't even focus on what I'm supposed to do. It was pretty over the top. Also played some Halo 2. We were pretty frustrated. I was playing with Vengeful Loki. We've been working on the Halo 2 campaign together. We got to the 9th mission, I think it is. We were at the final guy, and boop, we were both disconnected. And being that this wonderful thing doesn't have, the Master Chief Collection doesn't have like a continue or any kind of save, all you can do is replay the entire mission again.
Yep.
And we were just like, we're done. I mean, we just sat here and we were in it for like an hour and a half, and we're like, no, we're done. So it just disconnected us. So we'll eventually get back to it. Also, I played, I think, the first 3 levels of Alien Isolation. Rob, you probably should avoid this one.
Okay.
The first 2 levels, you don't really even see anything. It's just like setting up. The third one, oh my goodness, man. By the time I got done, right at the end of it, in fact, I even got it on the YouTube. I posted the YouTube up there today of me playing for like an hour and a half. But near the end of that video, man, you even hear me. It's like, oh man, my heart's pounding in my chest. I was just like, the music changed. I walked through this door, and all of a sudden, all these noises are going on, and the music picks up, and my heart was just like, I was like, I'm like turning around, like, oh my gosh, where is this thing? Looking around, like, this thing's coming out of something, man, And I had to go to this door and hack this door, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the door. I know something's gonna happen, and it was like I was scared to go to the door. Oh man, and by the time it was done, I was like, oh, I gotta go. I'm taking a break. I gotta get some lunch. I gotta let my heart calm down. So, pretty intense. Interesting game. It's very slow. And I think it looks good. It's interesting. I think it definitely fills that whole Alien. So far, it fills that Alien vibe and feel of if you're all alone. I think it does a pretty good job. Got a little frustrated at it because there's like humans on there that are shooting you sight unseen. As soon as they hear anything, they start shooting at you. And at first, I couldn't shoot back. I'd have to try to melee them. And then their gun's laying there on the ground, but I wasn't allowed to pick it up, and I couldn't understand that. That was frustrating. I can search and loot them, but I can't pick up the gun on the ground. I'm like, really? There's 5 more of these people that are coming after me with guns, and I can't pick up the gun laying on the ground that I'm looking at. That's nice. So that was frustrating, and that really stupid. Later on, you do pick up a gun, but when you meet those first few people, you got to melee them. It's the only way out. All right, so that's what I played this week. Did watch some TV because several times I tried to play something and I couldn't, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the show. So with that, it's time to hit the news.
Somebody was actually wondering, do you need to beat the main campaign to do the DLC in Sunset?
There is a mission that pops up that you go to. I don't know if you have to beat the main story. I read something about it. I don't know. I honestly don't know if you have to have the story beaten. It does pop up like a new. It's like a purple icon that you go to, and it's a new mission. I would expect that. I would gander to take a guess that you wouldn't need to beat the main storyline, but I had already had it done, so I really don't know for sure.
Okay.
I will try to find out if I can get an answer for you before the show's over.
Cool. Well, with that, news time. So I'll buzz through this real quick. So for January 2015, some Xbox Live games for gold. It looks like the Xbox One will be getting Dark Dreams Don't Die, or D4 for short. The Xbox 360 will be getting MX versus ATV Alive, and The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings. So be looking for those in January. Mark was just talking about the mystery of the Moil Rig add-on for Sunset Overdrive. The article here, besides saying that it's available, had some stats in here, and I thought some of them were funny. A combined total of more than 642 million OD scabs and Fizco bots have been killed, I guess, by everybody that's played the game. The TNT Teddy alone has been used to explode more than 84 million enemies. So, but pretty cool. 2.4 billion traversal combos strung together since the game launched. So a lot of stats that they collect, which is kind of cool that you can collect those things in these games nowadays. But that's a lot of OD, and I'm glad to be a part of that. So I'm probably 2 of them. Here's a cool one. Telltale Games Collection hits Xbox One. It's 5 seasons for $55. So what you're getting here is you're getting The Walking Dead Seasons 1 and 2, The Wolf Among Us, Tales for the Borderlands, and Game of Thrones. So with The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 and The Wolf Among Us, you are getting all the seasons, or all the episodes at once. Now, the Tales from the Borderlands and Game of Thrones, only episode 1 is available, but it is saying that in this collection that you're getting, you are getting season passes for everything. So you are getting basically all the Telltale games, minus, I guess, the Back to the Future ones. The ones we all know, you're getting them all for $55. And I think that's probably
while that price lasts. That's 50% off the normal price.
Okay, yeah, that's a good price for those.
Yeah.
I really do want the Game of Thrones, but I just haven't sat down, had time for it. So,
Okay, I know we talked about this before, but have you guys looked at all on what happens to your, let's say, like story or decisions if you were playing on 360 and if you moved to Xbox One?
I don't think anything. No,
Meaning that you start over on Xbox One?
Yeah, pretty sure you start over. So okay. I don't think there's any transfer or anything.
Or, I mean, let's say because I played Walking Dead season 1 and 2 on 360. If season 3 comes out and I get it on Xbox One, would that stuff carry over somehow through live? Is basically what I'm saying.
I don't think so. I think the one thing I heard was like you get to go through this thing and like answer questions like at the very beginning, which then kind of pieces together where your story starts.
Okay.
I may be wrong in that, and I may be thinking about a different game, but that's what I thought I remember.
Okay.
So, all right. Continuing with the news, read the fine print on Ubisoft's free game. Basically, with the issues with Assassin's Creed Unity, they gave out a free game. Note that if you download that game, you were saying that you were opting out of the lawsuit or the ability to sue Ubisoft or any of their developers for the game's state that it was in. Really, just take the game because you'd only get $2 anyways if you won. So
Yeah.
but, yeah, not a problem. Halo 4 Spartan Ops is actually has been brought to the Master Chief Collection. So anybody who's done that update, you'll see that it is available now. So that is good news. More stuff for that collection. And that's one thing I don't remember. I can't remember if I said, but with the addition, I know the people that have played Master Chief Collection are getting it for free, but they're bringing in ODST. That's, I was going to say that's a good thing that they're putting that in there. Then that's the hopes is that Reach would be available. Follow Reach would be in there as well. So Halo Reach campaign hopefully gets ported over as well. So then you'd have all the Halos in one collection, which I forgot to say that last week. But Spartan Ops is available. Delivers season's beatings via Killer Instinct Classics new online multiplayer mode. If you have an Xbox One in your Christmas stocking this year, where's this thing? And you'll see you have a new way to beating up on your faraway friends. Killer Instinct Classic will receive an online multiplayer mode as part of the free update launching. It says tonight, of course, but that would be on 4 days ago. So last week they have an online player mode, so that's good. I know there's a lot of people that like that game, and I think that was one of the big gripes is that they couldn't play online. It was only local versus at the time. And finally, if you have a 360 and you have an Xbox One and you happen to buy Call of Duty Advanced Warfighter on the 360 but didn't pay the upgrade fee, you can actually upgrade for free right now. So go out there and get your free upgrade on the Xbox One. I think that is a really awesome thing to do. I think that's...
And that's digital only, right?
Yes, sorry. Yes, if you have the digital copy. But I think, for one reason to have digital, I think it's awesome. But I think that the company itself, whatever company this is,
Sledgehammer, Activision.
Activision. It's surprising knowing Activision being the money-hungry people that they are.
I think they're just going to use it to boost their numbers because sale numbers are down. So all the free ones they give will still be a copy that went out to a consumer. So they won't have to say sold. They'll just, they can say sold, but it'll still be so many copies shipped or whatever. They'll change it. So,
you know what? If they want to give away a free upgrade to make their numbers look good, I am perfectly fine with that. Because honestly, anything over 10 million to me is a freaking hit. So if they're trying to hit 20, 30, 40 million, I don't care what they do to hit it. I'll tell you what, if they want to give me a free copy, even though I don't own it, just to make their numbers boost, I'll take it. So, but no, I think it's pretty cool that they're doing that free upgrade though. And it's like Bungie, Destiny. When you bought Destiny, you got it for free on both systems. I think that was really cool when you did the digital version. So maybe they're just trying to compete with that, but that's them. They published that as well. So yeah, pretty cool. But that's all I had for the news.
I got 2 updates. So for the Sunset Overdrive DLC, once you've downloaded the Mystery of the Moo Oil Rig, and once you've completed the A New Friend mission in the main game, which is like one of the first ones that you do, you'll find a new mission notification on the map directing you to the Fizco Internet Cafe, so you don't have to beat the main story. As for transfers of your Telltale games, this is directly from Telltale staff. Says, my apologies, unfortunately at this time, there have been no plans or announcements to include cross-platform save transfer functionality. This was as of December 26th, which was 2 days ago.
Okay.
So they have no plans for it. So there you go, Rob.
All right. He's got his headphones off right now.
Oh, what a jerk. He's fired. He's out of here.
Everybody just stare at Rob.
Yeah, we'll just wait.
The show waits for Rob.
You know, whenever
Sorry.
he's
Just wait.
ready, you know.
No.
I'm not
Wait.
repeating it. I went and did the research and gave him the answer. I'm not repeating it. He can just
You have to
continue
look-
wondering if it does or not now.
You have to download, listen to the show now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look about 50 minutes in.
Yep. So
What?
I answered your question regarding Telltale, and I'm not going to repeat it. I was
I
reading
had
it,
a-
and then Brun's like, he's got his headset off. So
I had a 6.5-year-old interruption.
I don't care. You tell that kid
Yeah.
when Daddy's on the computer, you leave him alone. Or yeah,
Yes.
take care of it. Come on.
Take that,
Have you
Rob.
no
Wing.
compassion? Have you
Yeah,
no
so-
compassion?
It's
You'll
called a
have to go listen.
banhammer, baby.
Wing is definitely not going to repeat that you can't transfer your saves across generations.
That's right. I will not.
Cannot, huh? Okay.
And I will not repeat that they have no plans to do that at this time. He's just going to have to go look it up on his own.
Yeah, Rob.
Jerks.
So
That's lame.
All right. It's
All
round
right.
table time.
it's round table time. Woo! Oh boy, do we got one. So I wanted to put the video in and play it, but we've had problems in the past with video in XSplit, and with their new version, I really don't want to chance it. But you guys have probably seen this supposed interview on Sky News. They supposedly interviewed one of these morons that are supposedly part of the attacks on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. And I want to read, I think, so I'm just going to read this, so in case you guys didn't get to see the video. It wasn't very long, but I'll read what the story says. And this, again, this is from Sky News. So a hacker tells Sky News the Christmas Day cyber attack on Xbox and PlayStation services was, quote, amusing and exposed poor security. So a hacker who claims to be behind the Christmas Day cyber attack on computer game consoles has told Sky News he wanted to expose poor security. The man, known as Ryan, said a group of 2 or 3 people mastermind the attack. Yeah, like it takes a mastermind to figure out how to do this. And no regrets about forcing a couple of kids to spend their time with their families instead of playing games. All right, I got to take a stop out. I got to stop right now. When this SOB has kids of his own, he's gonna be begging for these services to be up to get these ratty little brat kids out of your face and give you some time because you were up at 5 a.m. opening presents and putting toys together and unwrapping twist ties and cutting stuff and pulling your hair out because everything is like 18 hours just to get a stupid Barbie doll out of a package without tearing its hair. He's gonna want these services to be up. Say, go play video games and get out of my face so I can get a nap. All right, sorry. So let me continue.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, about it.
My kids spent plenty of time with me on Christmas, okay? We don't need some little script kiddie to force people to have time. That's just stupid. Anyways, so Ryan, thought to be a member of the Idiot Squad, admitted that he and his team of hackers considered the attack a sort of game and partly did it for their own amusement. In an interview from Finland over Skype with Sky's Joe Tidy, Ryan said the hacking team was small and included members who were under the age of 20. Why is that no surprise? We have massive capability to take down networks like this, he said. This attack was basically done by 3 people. We had a couple of people from outside the group helping with the attacks, helping us a little bit, but most of the traffic was coming from 1 or 2 people. Asked why the team carried out the attack, he said, mostly to raise awareness and to amuse ourselves. Also, one of the big aspects here was raising awareness regarding the low state of computer security at these companies. Because these companies make tens of millions every month from subscriber fees, and that does not even include purchases made by their customers. They should have more than enough funding to be able to protect against these attacks. And if they can't protect against attacks of their core business networks, then I don't think they're really doing that much on their overall level of security. And these customers are still giving the companies their credit card numbers and such. Ryan continued, "It is sort of a game for us, I have to admit. I completely understand that it's a bit unethical. I'd be rather worried if these people didn't have anything better to do than play games on their consoles on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I mean, I can't really be something inaudible. I can't feel bad. I might have forced a couple of kids to spend their time with their families instead of playing games." The Xbox Live status page said on Saturday that Microsoft services had been restored while PlayStation said it was getting to grips with the issue. But reassurances the networks were returning to normal were met with a mixed response on the social media. So the rest of that is just, that's done with the interview. So, all right. It's still going on today. There's still problems on both networks. They still have not fully recovered. Now, I think Xbox has done a fantastic job. The outages that I have seen since Christmas have only lasted a couple of hours, and then they've been up. But then we have seen it go back down and out, for an hour or two. But then it seems to be back up and running. From what I understand, and don't hate me, people. I'm not slamming Sony, okay? What I have heard from some of the Sony people that I know and who have posted in our group, it looks like PSN's had a harder time dealing with this. Now, we don't know if they were hit harder or if it's just their response to it's been harder for them to deal with. I don't know. But hopefully both are up right now. I know Xbox Live is currently up. I do believe PSN was up. I know as of last night that they were up, but I don't know the status of it at the moment. I do know that I tried to log in on my PS3 a couple days ago, and it wouldn't. It refused to log in. So, but I don't know. What do you guys think of this guy's comments in his article?
Well, first, he talks about, okay, there's a couple of things. In that article, I was watching a video. There's a couple of things. In that video, the guy mentioned, he goes, but the people that you're talking about, like the money, like people like, all they do is give their money. These people got he's like, but the people that you're blocking from getting in have already paid their money. He's like, so you're not stopping the company from getting their money.
Right.
You're stopping the people from getting to it that have already paid their money. But that's one thing. It makes him look like more of an idiot there. But the one thing, yeah, it is true. It is true. And then the other thing is, he's talking about security, and a couple people have talked about it in our chat here. DDoS attacks. I don't know exactly what part of security they handle, other than maybe trying to prevent like an IP address from pinging them 1,000 times a second or whatever. But as far as denial of service attacks, you're flooding traffic to the service. I mean,
right.
What part of security does that have to deal with that, other than, I don't know, other than trying to find a way to stop the people, flooding the requests? But I don't see, I don't know. It's just, a lot of his comments, and it's not, you're kind of going off about like, I spent time with my kids. I want to sit down and relax and play a game. The other thing is like, one thing that you don't want to do to a father or to a parent is make their kids upset and almost seem like Christmas is ruined for them.
Bingo.
Because if you really want to make a parent mad, do that and see what happens. Because my first comment, and I put it on Facebook, is that guy, and he got his picture right there. I'd love to knock the teeth right out of his mouth, and I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. I don't care. I'd knock his teeth out of his mouth because he's an idiot, And it's just, and I've been reading up on this stuff because I wanted to read up on how these guys kind of knocked on Anonymous, and Anonymous got their leader and released their information, but then Anonymous comes out and supposedly released like passwords and stuff, today and things like that. But as far as I always remember, and I don't know if that article is actually true, because Anonymous doesn't go and do things like that. Usually, typically, they have a purpose for the stuff that they do. They don't just go and release like people's username and passwords and credit cards and stuff. But just these kids, I'm going to call it,
they are
under the age of 20.
They are. They're kids.
You can tell by their comments. You can tell like they didn't think about like, oh, we're preventing the people that already spent the money. They're stupid.
They don't know what they're talking about. They don't. These guys don't know what they're talking about. Exactly, Rob. Him sitting there saying it's a security thing. It's not a security thing at all. They did not hack the system. They flooded it. Now everybody listening, think about the biggest city that's near you. Okay, I'm going to use Chicago as an example, just because we've all been there. The three of us have been there. Okay, so Rob, if there's 8 million people in the city of Chicago, and then isn't there 8 million in Chicago, or is that 8 for the whole metro area?
I think it's like 9 or 11 in the metro area. So that's like the whole like Northeast Illinois.
Okay, so let's say 3 million people lived outside of the city of Chicago. There's what, 1, 2, 3, there's 4 major interstates that all feed into the downtown area. Isn't there like 4? The Eisenhower, Kennedy, Stevenson, the Dan Ryan. There's at least
you have
4,
Lakeshore
right?
Drive that goes north-south. Then you have west the Eisenhower. Northwest is 9094, and then you've got 55 going southwest.
Okay. So you got like 4 or 5 major
exits.
roads going in and out of the city. So let's say one day all 3 million people that didn't live in the city of Chicago said, we're going to go downtown, and they all took one road.
Mm-hmm.
They all said, we're going to take the Eisenhower in, and they skipped everything else. Is that a traffic problem? Does that mean there's a problem that exists with the traffic system? No. And it's going to slow everybody down, and people probably aren't going to get into the city. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's all these guys did, is they flooded a ton of traffic at one point, 2 points, Sony and Microsoft, and they just sent a bunch of people, a bunch of requests. It's like sending a bunch of cars down the freeway and flooded it. They didn't hurt anything. They just slowed everything down, stopped people from getting where they want. They didn't hack anything. They didn't do any security breach of anybody's data or anything. So this is not a security thing. This is, that's what's annoying. And like Brun said, there's not really a solution to it. It's
no.
There are things that can be done to help mitigate things. I know my own company has certain things in place to help alleviate that, because we get hit ridiculous all the time, and we have things, but it's a different situation. My company, the situation where we can kind of prevent that, you can't do that on a service like Xbox Live or PSN, because you will knock legitimate paying customers off of the line. You can't do that. So their whole concept, their whole point, it's BS. There's nothing behind it. They're just trying to act big because they can copy a script they got from someone, or they know how to script. Yay. Whoop-de-doo. I'm like, what do you want? A cookie? I'm like, if these guys are really good, and maybe they are. I mean, I don't know them. I don't want to sit there and make accusations that they're idiots, okay? I'm saying they're idiots because their actions they're doing are impacting children and paying customers. It doesn't impact the company. Some people be like, oh, well, Microsoft, you stink, or Sony, you stink. I was correcting people earlier this week saying, it's not them. Why don't you direct your anger at the appropriate party? It's all the idiots on the highway,
Yeah. And it's like, and one other comment he made on there was like, I think he was saying something like the hundreds of thousands of dollars they're going to have to spend, to make their customers happy, or I forget if he said something like that or not, but I'm just like, I don't want anything from Microsoft. They don't owe me anything for the day that they were down.
No, and you know what?
It's like I want them to catch you guys in process.
Yeah, if they want to give me something, that's what they give me. They
put
get
these
that
guys
hurt,
in jail.
those people.
Yeah,
Yeah, put them in jail. I don't. I feel bad for Sony. I feel bad for Microsoft. I feel bad for EA. And in my own way, I hope they were all on the phones together, talking and helping each other out. Because really, it was. It has nothing to do with those companies.
Actually,
Nothing to do with them.
You mentioned about like feeling bad for Sony and Microsoft and stuff like that. Like companies, it really does not affect them. Maybe some PR or whatever, but I think a lot of people are going to rally, on their side as being the victims. But the people that are really hurt by this is two kinds. Number one, the consumers that could not get online. And it's not that you weren't spending time with your, like what this tool basically said was that, now these people can spend time with their families instead. Well, you know what? A lot of families like to get together and they enjoy gaming together. So they were denied this. They were hurt in this. And then plus, I mean, we're in a technical background, and I know, Mark, in the past you've been in this situation or whatever. When you have the people that support this kind of stuff, they got hurt as well, because you had all these vast teams of people at Microsoft and at Sony and at who knows how many consulting firms and security firms and probably ISPs. They were pulled away from their families to come into an emergency situation to see what they could do to alleviate this. So either way, the people that really got hurt is the consumers and regular folks, because these guys just don't care. And the thing is, a company, I got to tell you, I mean, I work as a consultant. I'm in all these different enterprise level environments all the time. I see what goes on with companies. If some of these companies have to drop some money, they don't care. It's literally, they're swimming in money. They don't care. A lawsuit for Microsoft is an inconvenience. Spending money is they don't care. They're just like,
yeah. The lawsuits are stupid because they're spending millions of dollars a year. They've got lawyers permanently on staff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take any money out. They're like, oh well, these guys that we pay already have something to do now. I'm like, it doesn't make a difference.
I remember. I remember us talking a couple weeks ago about this stuff, and we were using that gas station thing. You remember when we were talking about like how people were like, fight against the bad guy, the gas stations. Don't buy gas on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to use a similar type of analogy. What these guys are trying to do is like they're trying to get back at the evil gas stations by blockading all of the gas stations in the city. No, people won't spend money at you, will hurt you. And you know what? Joe Schmo consumer can't get to work because he ran out of gas down the road. Him and his kid are cold because it's 20 degrees out and they ran out of gas because you blockaded it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just this is so misguided, and I don't understand the logic because it's so stupid. And the guy, if he's legitimate, if he's really one of the guys,
that's the whole other point. We don't really know if he truly is part of this group.
Yeah, I mean, if this guy did it, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. It's like if he's capable of doing this, how has it been so poorly thought out, and his response is so poor? It's like he's seeking to justify what he did. And he's really reaching for it because none of it makes sense to me. None of it.
And like I was starting to say earlier, was if these guys, and they may be talented. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. They may be talented. They might just be script kiddies and don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're very talented. If you are talented, why don't you get a job consulting with these enterprises to make them aware of security risks and things that they can do, or develop technology to prevent this sort of thing? This, when you are doing a service, and another thing too that I don't think a lot of people are thinking about, it's like, I'm attacking Microsoft and Sony. Well, you're attacking their networks, but you're attacking other ISPs. You're not attacking Microsoft's ISP. they're paying companies to host all this broadband. Microsoft's not running all that. All these servers are hosted at companies,
Right.
just like we have our site hosted. It's not like
Yeah.
there's a server in Rob's basement running this Xbox Live website. It's hosted at a company that hosts it. So if you're like, well, I'm going to take out TXL, woohoo! You attacked a third party. You may take our site down, but you took down probably several others at the same time, you know.
Oh,
And
good
it's,
point. Yeah.
I mean, who knows what other sites were impacted by this attack on quote Microsoft and Sony? And it's just like I'd rather see these people, if they really are that intelligent, to go out and do some good in the world. If you want to make a statement, there's other ways to make a statement. This is attacking innocent people, because that's all this was, is not the way to do it. And I'm not even going to make that correlation because that would be wrong. But you're focused your anger at the wrong place, and this is not going to get you a response or an answer that you want by attacking customers of these companies. You know, it's just come around, guys. Figure, grow up. Even if you're 40, you need to grow up and figure out a better way to do it. And you didn't just take kids out. I don't know of too many kids in our community. I know there's kids because their parents are part of our community as well as their kids.
Yeah.
There was a lot of adults that wanted to play. I wasn't impacted because I was busy all day. I don't think I booted my Xbox on Christmas Day. So I really didn't know what was happening. I was kind of curious what was going on. But, people have that choice if they want to sit down with their family and play. Or a kid gets, man, my kids would have been devastated. I would have been really ticked. Had I bought an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 for Christmas and not been able to let my kids play and have to wait a week before they could get the thing updated and ready to play, that would have been horrible. That would have ruined their Christmas.
And-
I'd have
and
been really ticked off. And that's what makes me angry is a lot of people were in that position.
And I don't know if those people are like parents or whatnot. I mean, it seemed like the guy was sort of on the young side, but I mean, I know Mark and Brun. I know you know this. I'm sure a lot of listeners know when you're dealing with little kids, and well, I guess even some older kids. When you have something like this, when a kid is really looking forward to it, like let's say I'm going to use my son. Like we were going to try Trap Team, and if we couldn't get online, not being able to play that game when he was so excited about it, it would have been the worst thing in the world. Because that's how like a child's mind works. Whatever's going on right now, it might be minor from an adult standpoint, but from a little guy or a little girl, it's the worst thing in the world that could be happening to them right then and there. And it just like, and as a parent, especially if you can't control it and you know what's going on behind the scenes, I mean, this thing should just infuriate everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. Well, I got nothing else, and I don't know.
Well,
You guys got
I
any?
don't know. I just hope that they either go after these guys or they do something, to find out and, get back at these guys. Because, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It totally poor logic, and it's just ridiculous. And these guys need to be brought to justice. They need to make an example of them, not just brought to justice. They need to make an example to prevent people from doing it again. Okay, I'm done.
Anything else, Brian?
No, I'm glad all of them are, coming back up and everything. And we were talking about, Xbox, they got theirs up relatively quick, but with denial of service and things like that, and the number of servers that Xbox has, I think that might be the reason why they could recover a little bit quicker than Sony. I think the network's a little bit larger, so it probably took a lot. It'd take a lot more attacks or whatever to hit them a little bit harder. Not 100% sure on that, but I'm glad that they're all back up and repairing themselves.
All righty. Well, we're going to move on to our next topic. I think it's our last one on the roundtable. And and this won't be long because everybody else does this whole random best of the year. We're just going to give you our favorite games that we played this year and what we thought was the worst games. Now, our list, this is strictly based on, it's an individual. Each one of us can give you our individuals. It's stuff we played. So if you're like, oh, how could you not say that game XYZ was the greatest ever? Well, I didn't play game XYZ, so I'm not going to comment on a game I didn't play. So I'm not going to say something's the best or the worst if we haven't played it. So this is off stuff we played over the year, the things that we found to be the most entertaining, the funnest, our favorites, and our least favorites. So with that, we will start with Rob on his favorite games of 2014.
You bet. Okay. I had a lot of trouble with this list here that we're going to cover just because of the quality of games that have been coming out lately. On the good games, there's a lot of good games, definitely a couple great games, but like horrible games or anything like that, or worst games, I can't say that I really could find much that I played that I could really say is just terrible. But as far as my favorite games so far of 2014, I definitely enjoyed Wolfenstein New Order, Forza Horizon 2, and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I know Tomb Raider is a little bit of an older game. It came out like 1 or 2 years ago, but the Definitive Edition on Xbox One came out this year, and I did play that one. So I'm counting that as a 2014 release. And there was a ton of other games that could easily make this list as really good, solid games. But for me, these are the ones that really kind of stood out in the past 11, 12 months. Bren?
All right. Guess I'll go next. I'm next on the list here. Well, for my 2014 month in review, seeing that I already had my Xbox a couple months, I included some of the PC games that I played, and I tried to keep the ones that were kind of officially released this year. But I know Diablo 3 was not released this year, but it was on the Xbox One, so I'm including that, and that's what I have played the most of on the Xbox One. So Diablo 3 is definitely the top of my list. And then as far as the other games that I've played, Hearthstone, always a good one. Elite Dangerous, Papers, Please, and Planetary Annihilation. Those all happen to be PC games, except for Hearthstone and Papers, Please. Those are also on iOS. But that's what I have. I know, let's see, I mentioned I was playing some Sunset and some Assassin's Creed, but they are just not up there. So, but that's what I have.
All right, I know people are going to jump on me for my first one because it actually came out 2013, but it came out December 20th, 2013, so I felt it was close enough to the end of the year that I could include it, and that's Max the Curse of Brotherhood. And I just thought that was a fantastic title, and I thought it deserved to get mentioned again. So I like that. I really liked Titanfall. I had a great time with that game. I also put Diablo 3 as well, because oh my gosh, I've put so much time into that game, and I just keep going back to it. It's by far one of the best console games out there for the Xbox One. Obviously, my game of the year choice is Sunset Overdrive. It is everything that I would hoped and more. It was fun gameplay. It was crazy, over the top. It didn't take itself seriously. The dialogue was some of the funniest I have heard in so long. The jokes they made against themselves, against the different industries, against LARPers and stuff like that. It was funny. It wasn't offensive. I think even people that were LARPers probably would have laughed too. It was like a good fun. It's just amazing. Also, Forza Horizon 2. What can I say? The game is amazing. And also, again, I probably can't. I'm going to take this last one off because I think that was 2013. Sorry!
It was released. It was a launch game.
Sorry. Yeah, I just realized that. So, yeah, those are my favorites of 2014. So let's go to the worst games of 2014. and we'll go back to Rob.
Yeah, and this was the list that I really struggled with. I can't think of anything that was really just downright horrible. And the only thing that I'm just going to put on here, and it's more of just a game it really wasn't for me, and that's Volgar the Viking. It was just really, I'll say, hard and not really fun. That's the freebie game that we got a couple months back on Xbox One that had the 8-bit graphics. And I know a lot of people love this because they like the old style games that were like this, but it was just painful. That's it for me.
All right.
Oh no, no, you don't. Hold on, I'm
turn.
muting you. I'm hanging you up if you say this.
Nope.
You cannot. There's no way you can
No
say this.
censorship.
The
You are a He's doing it just to
game.
get me mad.
The worst game ever. No, remember me saying I had a joke about it. That was my joke. I had Sunset Overdrive on my list as the worst, but it's not the worst.
Oh, fire whistle's going off. Be
Yeah.
quiet. Mute. I hear your fire whistle. Mute.
We haven't heard that in a long time.
No.
Saved by the fire whistle.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. It's not truly my worst game. I haven't played it enough to say it was my best or my worst. So, but I will say that I do have a worst game, and I think it's deserved. It deserves to be on the worst game of 2014, and that is Destiny. I think the game. I played it. The game is crap. The story was horrible. The grind is ridiculously stupid. And I don't care if all these little things like, oh, you have to do this to get a better weapon to do this or that. You know what? They lost me, and I'm super disappointed because it's from one of my favorite developers, and that's Bungie's Bungie. But you know, Destiny is the worst game that I've played 2014.
Alrighty, and that leaves it to me. I've got 3 games on this list, and they all hurt me to even say this, and I'm sure I'm going to get hate mail. But first off was Sniper Elite 3. This one, because I love Sniper Elite V2, I felt Sniper Elite 3 was such a letdown. I really was let down by this game. It wasn't overly bad. It was just a step back, I thought, from the previous title, and that was a shame. My next one... Oh, I'm going to get hate mail. Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. I paid full price for this. I've got like 2 hours in the game, and I've not gone back. I was so bored with it, and it just didn't... I was so excited about this game. Of course, it came out the same time that Forza Horizon 2 did, both on the same day, and Forza got all my time, and that may be the problem. Maybe I need a drought to force me to go back and restart this, and I think I'm going to do that here pretty soon. I'm thinking about just starting over, right? You know, forget the 2 hours I put in, start a new game, and see if I can figure out how to play it. Because I really wanted to play it, I really wanted to like it, but I just found it to be so boring. It was just a letdown. So it's not a bad game. It's just it was a letdown. That's the problem. I didn't have a worse game, but these 3 games on my list were all letdowns for me. And then finally, I'm with you, Brun. Destiny. For several reasons. I actually played it today? Or was it today or yesterday? I can't remember when. But, wow, that's pretty sad if I played it today and I can't remember that.
That shows its lasting mark.
There you go.
It's just...
It's such a wonderful game. I can't remember if I played it today. It's just the fact that I do enjoy the game. That's the weird part. It's like I do enjoy it, but and everybody's going to come back. Well, it's a MMORPG ZYR1 for whatever the heck it is. I thought it was a shooter, okay? And I thought this was going to be along the lines of Borderlands, and it's more along the lines of Call of Duty meets, I guess, World of Warcraft or something, where you've got to put 400 hours in to get a decent gun. I I just don't want to do that. And when I'm playing with one character and I get loot for others, that I don't ever play multiple characters. That's just not what I do. I play as one, build it up, and I pick the one that suits my style typically first. And that's usually what I do. Now, Diablo is different. I played as all 6 characters, and I did enjoy it. That's the only game I have ever gone and played as multiple characters. So Destiny, it's just with the grind fest. I also think Bungie's arrogance, if you will. I feel this company has gotten so arrogant. They've just kind of, Xbox doesn't matter, Microsoft doesn't matter, gamers of Xbox don't matter, even though we're the ones that built them up to be this powerhouse. They gave all their love to Sony, regardless if Sony paid for that or not. It's like a stab in the eye, and I feel they've been very arrogant, and I don't like what they've done with their DLC. And I did talk to someone earlier, and I said, the DLC could be fair. Maybe what Xbox gamers got in the DLC was what Sony was gonna get, and maybe Sony paid money for additional content that they wanted to give their customers for free. Bungie should have said that. They should come out and say that, because the Xbox gamers feel they're getting one over on them. And I think they should at least have the guts to come out and say, hey, Sony paid for that additional content. It's not that we're, hosing over our Xbox fans. So I just think, the game, I think, could have been more. The story was really lacking. It is a fun game to play it, and when I went and played the DLC, I did enjoy the DLC, and it was pretty intense and pretty hard. I actually really enjoyed it, but and I actually got to level up. I don't know if they made some changes, but all of a sudden I had some gear, so I'm like almost halfway to 29. I've been stuck at 28 since the game came out. Yeah, that's why it's there. So those 3 just really weren't bad. They were just disappointing. I don't think I played a bad game that I can recall this year. So.
And with Destiny, I know exactly what I know. You're saying it's hard to explain, but I know exactly what you're saying. It's like when I was playing with my friends, like have 3, people in there playing, I'm having fun. But the point that I can't go have fun with my friends now because they're 28s and 29s and I'm a 21, they're like, oh, no, you at least got to be a 28 to do this with us. I'm just like, well, how do I get there? And they're like, well, you got to go in, you got to do all the dailies, and you try to do all the dailies at one time, and then you got to go in and do the weeklies and do this and do that and do this. And I'm just like, so you're saying I got to play 6 hours a day,
Yes, exactly. And then the other thing they did is when the DLC came out, the weekly heroics were off the DLC. So if you didn't buy it, you no longer could get the points, and you couldn't level up and have that loot, and you lost out if you didn't pay more money, which to me is lousy. That's just dumping on their customers, and that's why I say I think Bungie's just gotten this arrogance about them that I don't know.
They got the Activision / Sony arrogance.
Man, they're drinking the Activision Kool-Aid like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's like I'll go play it if anybody wants to play and has a level 21 and wants to do that or can help me increase. Maybe I'll have fun if I can play with people again. But it's just like, I open up my all my games that I have and I'm just like, and it's funny because I don't want to grind in Destiny. I'll grind all day long in Diablo. But that's because I can have fun in Diablo by myself. Destiny, it's not fun at all by yourself. So it's just maybe I need to go back in and give it a try, but it's on the worst list on my book. Basically, just repeating everything you said. It's just like I don't know how any other way to put it.
It's just a grind.
Yep.
So, but all right. Well, that wraps up our roundtable, and I don't know if I know it was in the chat. Just to let the rest of you know. This is our last show for the year, man. We're decided we're going to take a break, man. We're just not going to come back until 2015. So I hope you guys all understand that, but we're just going to take the rest of the year off. And before we do take off for the rest of the year, we jump into our community. And be sure to check out our Facebook group. It's at facebook.com/groups/this Xbox Life. That's where all of you crazy folks are yipping and yapping and whining and crying and throwing threats at us and laughing with us, setting up games with us in the community. It's a good time, so hop on in. Again, I please ask for any new people hopping in, please keep the language clean. I will delete. If it's not clean, I'll just delete it. It's part of the rules of engagement. And we also have Twitter. You can follow us on twitter.com/this Xbox Life. We have a voicemail. If you go to our website, click the speaker on the right side and leave us a voicemail with your gamer tag. We will put it in the show. And actually, we do have an email. So you can also email us, contact@thisxboxlife.com. And Rob, do you want to read our email for the week?
Sure, absolutely. So this email came in from Vinyl Purist. Writes in, "Hi guys, I don't know." Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can read it. All right, I don't know if you've been asked this question yet, but I'm going to go ahead and ask anyway. What games have you guys played that you have given up on fairly early and got rid of, but then picked it up again later for whatever reason? Gave it another chance and then thoroughly enjoyed it to the end. My personal one was Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I went into that game feeling like I was in way over my head and couldn't close the first Oblivion gate, so I got rid of it. But after 6 months or so, I saw it on a pre-owned pile and decided to give it another chance. Took my time with it and ended up spending 300 plus hours
Wow.
in Cyrodiil. Still loving great show every week. Keep it up. Thanks.
Wow, that's a
Wow.
lot of time, man.
That's, especially from like the used pile there. That's a fantastic deal.
That's a return on your investment for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I had a similar experience with Mass Effect.
You beat me to it.
I tried the first Mass Effect, didn't like it, got hung up. I think it was like on the first mission. It was with the what was that thing called? Where you're in the lunar lander like vehicle, the Mako. I think it's called the Mako. I couldn't get past the very first Mako mission, and it was like, I don't know, nothing clicked because I'm just like a shooter. I'm dumb. It's got to be a super simple game. I can't handle critical thinking and stuff in a game. So I wasn't sure what all this stuff did, and so I ended up doing the same thing. I just sold the game, and then Mass Effect 2 was coming out, and it looked so good. I mean, the game was like, oh wow, I really want to play Mass Effect 2. So I actually bought Mass Effect again on the cheap. Or no, I think I had rented it from Gamefly, I think is what I did. I'm like, I'm going to try this one more time. And I remember being on with my buddy Kyle, who you may know as Moronic Cow from the Achievement Hounds, who used to do this show with us. And I was talking to him on live, and I'm like, dude, this is where I'm at. I don't know what to do. And he's like, well, here, do this. Okay, do you see this? Do you see that? And he like walked me through that first mission. And then I was able to continue playing. And as I went through, I kind of go to him and be like, okay, I don't understand this. He's like, oh, well, you do this, this, and this. And before long, I was hooked. And I have played all 3 Mass Effect games, and I'm desperately waiting for the next one. So yes, I have been there, and that's been my game. So what about you, Bron?
It was Mass Effect. I think we ended up stopping at the same point. And I think it was after you went and beat Mass Effect 2, you were just like, you got to go play it, Bron. You got to go play it. And I was like, I have it. I just haven't played it. I think I sat down on one weekend and just pumped a ton of time into the first one. And I was just like, from the first one right into the second one. And I played the third one all the way. I haven't beat the third one still.
Oh
and
my
I will
gosh.
beat it before the next one comes out. I will beat the third one. Trust me. I still have them. I've kept them. But I got to the point where on the third one, where oh my gosh, what was his name? Who's the big dude?
Garrix?
No,
I can't remember all their names.
with the red face. looks like a big gorilla-looking guy. I can't think of his name now.
Okay.
Oh, whatever it was, is he became the leader of his tribe or whatever.
Right, yeah. I think it started with a K.
Yes, it starts with a K.
And I can't remember his name either.
But what it is like I went to help him or something happened, but what it was is like I had to go help him within a certain amount of missions, and I like lost track of it, and I think his planet blew up or something, and he died, and I was like, I ain't having that. I was like, he has to stay alive. He's like one of my. He's like. I was like, he's my man. I gotta say. I was like, I'm starting over. So I started all the way over, and I got back to Mars, and I'm stuck on Mars, so which is like the so. But
I'm looking it up because it's annoying me what his name is, but or at least I'm trying to find the character list. Okay, I guess I can't find. Those are all like comic books. Oh, here we go. Mass Effect characters. Because he was in the first game, and I think because I restarted too because I think
Grunt.
he died.
Oh no, not Grunt.
No, Rex is not. Rex was later, but he wasn't the right one. Wasn't he like the kid? There was another one.
Grunt was the kid. Rex.
Okay.
Rex is the guy. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So he. I went.
Urdnot Rex.
Because I think.
Yeah, Urdnot Rex is his name, and I think I don't remember maybe it was part 2 where he died, and I restarted.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I went back. I'm like, he's not dying. I'm gonna do something different to make sure he sticks around.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I did everything in Mass Effect 2 to make sure my entire crew stayed alive. Like in the final mission, like I came through and everybody was still alive after the second one, and I went and I just like something happened where it triggered. I went and visited him, and I think he had to do some battle or something. And then I left his planet, and then something was happening there, and you had to go back and help him within a certain amount of turns or a certain amount of missions or time. And I didn't realize it until it was just like, oh, they're dead. And I'm like, what? and I found out what happened. I was like, oh, no. Yeah. And my save, I didn't have a save that went back to be on that point. So I was like, I got to start over. So that's what I did. I started over. So,
well, real quick. We were all like, wow, 300 plus hours. Vinyl Purist, man, he's a beast. He's just a little baby when it comes to comparing up to Hawk, who has over 1,200 hours in this game. And he said that the dev actually sent him an actual award. And he's actually got it in a box upstairs. He said if he can find it, he'll take a picture of it and send it to us. But he actually got an award, a real lifetime award there for playing so long.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I always liked listening to my friend talk about Oblivion because he's one of the guys that he like 1K'd it, and then every DLC that came out, he went back in and like played him and got all the points for him. But I just remember him tell me funny things like, I was, got bit by a vampire. So during the day, like my life would go down because I was a vampire out in sunlight and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a fun game, but I never actually played it at all. So, but
well, how about you, Rob? Did you ever have anything you went back to?
Well, going back to all the time, I've never gotten rid of any games. I keep everything, so I can't necessarily say that I got rid of it and had to get it again, but I go back to games all the times.
Well, no, but something that you didn't like the first time and then ended up loving it.
Like, for example, Rise. I'll just bring that one up. Rise was something that I just couldn't get into when I first played it. I think it was one of the launch titles that I got initially, and I was quickly swept up by some of the other games. And I really didn't care for it. And then just about 2 weeks ago, I started playing it again. And I'm like, this thing's awesome. And I definitely wasn't quite seeing what happened a year prior. But that's one that for me recently definitely was much better second time around. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for the email, Vinyl Purist. We appreciate it. That takes us into. That's it, because there ain't no
Yeah.
new releases.
Nope.
There are not any new games. I think we got plenty to keep us busy. And real quick, I had this list up earlier, and then I closed it. Just in case people are wondering, the things I'm looking for that I want to spend my money on next for Xbox One games. There's 2 games coming out in January that I'm looking forward to, and that's Saints Row 4 Reelected, that I believe is going to include the Gat Out of Hell DLC, and also Dying Light is, if that's still holding on the January 27th date. Those are the 2 I'm looking forward to next. Evolve's coming out in February, which I probably will skip. I tried the beta and I did not like it. Dead or Alive 5 Last Round will be in February. I'm going to pick that one up too. I like the Dead or Alive series of games. And then we got Battlefield Hardline, Brun, March 17th. So that's kind of what's coming out. Then Rob, Batman Arkham Knight is currently set for June 2nd. So
that's quite a ways away, but it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah. So, but you guys got any last parting thoughts before we take the rest of the year off?
I do, actually. I just want to let the community know that if Xbox Live goes down, in particular like how it did the other day over Christmas and such, and following days afterwards, just keep in the back of your mind that this XboxLife.com did not go down. So you can definitely go back to some of the previous episodes that we had and enjoy yourself. Come back to this Xbox Life to pass the time if you can't do it on live.
All right. Oh, I have one. Go Buckeyes. Go Bucks. January 1st, we're in one of the playoff games for college against Alabama, which is a very good football team. So good luck to both teams, but I hope my Buckeyes win. So that's all.
All right. Be sure that's it then, right? So continue to support us through Amazon. We appreciate it. If you listen to us on iTunes, please rate us. We appreciate the 5-star ratings and comments. If you guys listen to us through any other mediums, please do rate us. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Twitch broadcast as well, so that you will get notified when we do a show. All right. We will see you guys all back next week. With that, I'm Mark, AK Wingman 709, taking off.
This is Rob, also known as Prestar. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you all next year.
Brun, BJ Swick 33, have a good one.